All right, welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another AlphaStar match. We are getting down on the AlphaStar replays before we kind of do our big finale. So, before that, we have got new repugnancy being the map. In the bottom left-hand side, we have got Master Zerg with that very cool Hydralisk head logo, taken on none other than Alpha Z. So a good old ZVZ between these two. I myself recently just been playing a little bit of Zerg. It's been good fun. I think Starcraft's fun when you're just kind of casually playing. And so we take a look at the build. We have got a spawning pool coming out very early from the Masters player. We'll see if there's going to be a gas behind this or not. Long story short, though, he's going to be getting aggressive against the AI. Now, ladies and gentlemen, seeing as how there are 16 drones perfectly saturated on AlphaStar's hatchery, let's try and hit 16 likes on this video. And of course, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free. You can also get notified if you press that bell icon. But enough of that. Let's look at the Starcraft here. Build-wise, we've got that early pool from the Masters player, but he's not taking gas behind this and then is getting up his own hatchery. So his own hatchery is only slightly later than AlphaStar's. He's going to have the earlier lings, though, and basically the way that he makes up for not having that is by delaying his gas, because he's still got around the same mineral income as AlphaStar, and so it doesn't actually put him behind as far as hatchery timing goes too much. Now, we see AlphaStar is mining its gas, though, so it will have the quicker speed. How is it going to respond to these 6 lings sneaking out? The AI, I don't believe, saw those, so it doesn't have any idea that six lings are going to be crossing the map for the Masters player, but now its Overlord does spot these, so the AI knows. And honestly, this build, what was it, a 15-16 hatchery? I'm not the biggest fan of it. It doesn't tend to get damage done too often. So, as far as aggressive Zerg builds go in ZVZ, I think there are better options, because we see in a second AlphaStar will have out its 6 lings, although the Masters player has actually got 1 drone successfully so far. If he can get a second, that would be huge. He also spots the Roach Warren of AlphaStar, which is a very notable scout, I'll say. And then Queens and drones are just on the way for the Masters player behind this. Throws up his own Roach Warren just slightly later. Very good response. You gotta have roaches to defend roaches for the most part. Otherwise, it just doesn't really happen. The lings are still alive. They are shooed away by the Queen. And we actually see a spine crawler going up for the Masters player. So taking this attack very, very seriously. Gonna be sneaking out a few drones. And then gonna be probably starting his own production once his own Roach Warren's done. I definitely don't mind this. With the defender's advantage, it's a very, very big deal in ZVZ as far as identifying and stopping attacks, because it's really just whether you scout the attack coming soon enough and then respond in an appropriate manner. There is such a thing as responding too early, and there's absolutely responding too late to an attack. If the Master player starts making roaches now, I will be happy with his response, though, but he definitely should be making those roaches, as AlphaStar is going to be going for its classic big old roach attack. Going to be trying to kill its opponent. Currently, the count of roaches is 8 for AlphaStar, where there is none out for the Masters player. Ling's going to have to be running away. They're raising the alarm bells. And the Masters player does have a spine crawler, though. He'll have his queens. AlphaStar, if we look at it, is only moving across the map with 8 roaches, so I'm not sure this attack for AlphaStar is actually going to succeed. As long as the Masters player is making his roaches, I think this could potentially be a hold, and we don't see a lot of players actually hold this attack that AlphaStar goes for, because it's so strong. But we see there is indeed 1 spine crawler up. The second spine crawler is under fire, does get cancelled, though, by the Masters player. Look at this, though. I mean, the roach count is going up for the Masters player. AlphaStar's reinforcements will take a long time to get across the map. The AI is bringing queens, though, so there's absolutely no such thing as overreacting for the Masters player. He's even going to be making some Ravagers, which is quite interesting. Against slow roaches, they could be effective. The Queen's even coming for AlphaStar. It's just got to be units for days effectively, for the Masters player, just to hold on. And if he does hold on, he'll be in a very good spot as he's up on drones. The AI is even committing its queens across the map. It's all about this battle here between these two players. AlphaStar, interestingly enough, though, behind this has started to drone on up. A very, very notable. The AI squeezing out some drones. We have yet to see if it'll go for the attack or not, though. The Masters player has been producing his own roaches still, and he's only behind 2. He's got his own Ravagers, and with all of his spine crawlers, I think he absolutely should be fine to defend this. I don't think AlphaStar will be wise to commit on in. However, the AI has made a bunch of lings and does want to make something happen. Whether it can, though, is the completely different question. I'm not sure the AI, if it attacks, will be able to break this location. And so all of a sudden things are going to stabilize a little bit as AlphaStar was like, should I, shouldn't I not? The AI is usually very good with when it knows to attack or not to attack. It probably would have failed due to the solid defense from the Masters player. And so we're going to see this game continue on in a bit of an odd spot. Both these players have very, very big armies, but small economies. Okay, now we take a look. So far, everything is pretty normal. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Yeah, but we see an extra Evo going down for the Masters player. He's just getting up a layer, so paths are going to be diverting now, it would seem a bit, as AlphaStar is getting up Ling speed, whereas the and I imagine going to be a third base soon, whereas the Masters player is just getting up a layer, getting up an extra Evo chamber, and really staying on 2 bases. I definitely don't mind the choice to stay on 2 bases, though, as until you see your opponent put down a third, there's no point in trying to get yours down and rushing for it. Now, economy-wise, AlphaStar has snuck out a few more drones, but the players are still relatively close. Yeah, I'm not sure who's really ahead due to AlphaStar's just pure skill. I'm definitely not going to write the AI off or even necessarily say the AI's behind. Krosabal trying to hit this Overlord. The Overlord will indeed get hunted down by that Queen. Pops like a balloon. And then we see a lair on the way for AlphaStar. So just getting its lair slightly slower than its opponent. Both players have 1-1 on the way now. There was that extra Evo chamber put down for the Masters player, but he's not using it yet. So we'll see if he does. Hey, and then, yeah, let's take a look. Pneumatized Carapace is on the way for the AI, so wanting to be able to have a scout definitely doesn't hurt. Whereas the Masters player, just using a slow Overseer, sees the lair timing, which is very notable. Probably assuming it's not going to be mutas with a lair that late. The Masters player is now going to be looking to move out on the map, it would seem. He's going to be just pushing across the map, and then does back off. No Roach Speed is on the way for the Masters player yet. I would like to see that. We see Roach Speed started for AlphaStar. A third base is fired up for the Masters player. He does start his +2 attack, so I would say, upgrade-wise, tech-wise, the Master player is ahead. AlphaStar, though, with its droning madness, is already up 10 drones. The Masters player, since he has the third base on the way, is probably going to want to squeeze out a few more. He does have to be careful, though. He's got some Ravagers that could be getting caught by these Lings, and looks like he will lose 1-2 Ravagers. Nice pickoff for AlphaStar. Ravagers are not cheap. The attack, though, could be about to commence from the Masters player, potentially going to be looking to put the hurt on AlphaStar. Got to be careful not to overextend. Instead, the Masters player is sectioning some roaches off to where the third base of AlphaStar would be if it had got a third base. We ain't seen that yet, though. So the Masters player definitely doesn't want to take a fight as he's down on army supply. He doesn't have all of his supply with his main army right now. And oh, this is a pretty big blunder, I feel, for the Masters player. This attack he had totally got sectioned off. I'm really unsure of what his plan was with this. This is going to cost him a lot of units. He's best just to go back home. I absolutely don't think he can make an attack work now. And seeing as how AlphaStar is going to have Roach Speed sooner than the Masters player, there's going to be no escape. We need to see the Masters player go home right now. Go home to your third base, which is quicker than that of AlphaStar's. Go home to your +2 attack. Wait for those upgrades to finish, and then play the game out. We even see Carapace starting for the Masters player, so going to be keeping his upgrade lead going, which is good to see. But man, AlphaStar's macro is no joke. The AI is going to be looking to push across the map. The Masters player will suddenly be on the defensive, where I think he rightfully belongs. AlphaStar is going to try and make this attack go up the ramp. Currently, the upgrades are equal. The +2 is not yet done for the Masters player. It is a perfect time for AlphaStar to fight. Both players turning out as many units as they can. The Masters player trying to dodge the Crocodiles, but his army is thinning out as he tries to surge forward, and it looks like AlphaStar's macro is going to win out just once again. It seems the AI has a much better understanding of how to macro than your average Joe on the ladder. Really well played by the AI, able to take a victory. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it is time for another AlphaStar match, and I do have a bit of an announcement. Seeing as how we're getting towards the end of the regular AlphaStar replays, or I guess some of the lower AlphaStar replays, they're naturally getting a little bit shorter, the games, so I've decided instead of just doing 2 matches a video, I'm actually going to go ahead and make it so that we are doing actually a full best of 3. So essentially, if AlphaStar wins a match, the unranked player wins a match in this case, then we're going to have a 3rd one. So we'll see if that's the case or not. But that's something to keep in mind for future videos. And yeah, we'll just check out this match. It is indeed an unranked Protoss, which is always exciting. Never know what you're going to get with an unranked player, kind of like a box of chocolates. And then the Alpha T in the top right. So we're probably going to see some Banshees. We're going to see some Siege Tanks, some Mass Marines, all of that good stuff that the AI goes for. Now, interestingly enough, the unranked player has already gone for double gas. So he's going to be going for some mad aggression here. For Protoss, opening double gas in a PvT is not a normal thing. We've then got this probe, which is looking mighty, mighty suspicious, queuing up to the top side of the map. With double gas this soon, a cyber core already, and such aggression, we'll see what the tech is going to be like. What makes sense to put up here? It could be a Dark Shrine, but I feel like a 1-base Dark Shrine is the most obvious build on Earth. So maybe a Stargate if I had to take a gander? We'll just have to wait and see. Only the unranked player at this point knows. AlphaStar certainly doesn't know. Interestingly enough, though, the Protoss actually throws up an extra pylon, which I want to note is a little bit odd. If you're 1-basing, you're getting double gas. It's not like you can hide this from your opponent by saying, like, oh, look, I've got my 2 pylons in my base. I'm playing normally. Your opponent, alarm bells are ringing if they scout this. And so AlphaStar, if it identifies the lack of a nexus, if it sees the double gas, it's not going to basically say, oh, 2 pylons, wow, everything's normal. It's going to say, oh, there's 2 gases. There's no natural base. I haven't seen the tech, so it's got to be somewhere. The AI would have to be panicking. Looks like it could potentially be Blink Stalkers. It could always be DTs, though. With the 2 gateways, I want to say it could be Blink Stalkers. However, we'll just have to wait and see. The probe looks like it might be about to build a Dark Shrine. I am not sure. Is that a Dark Shrine probe? The answer is no. It's going to be Blink getting Chrono boosted out. So it's going to be a 1-base Blink play from the unranked Protoss player. Just going to be throwing a hard ball at AlphaStar. 3 gateways for now. I imagine we'll see a 4th. Something like that, potentially proxied closer to the Terran player's base. AlphaStar has just gone for a normal build, so it's going to have to be very careful. We're going to have to see another one of those miracle AlphaStar defenses if the AI will win this game, as, I mean, holding off a 1-base Protoss with a 2-base Terran is kind of a tall order. We see a Cyclone is now on the way for AlphaStar. You're going to want a Siege Tank against Blink Stalkers. The bunker's a nice touch on the high ground nonetheless, so the command center will be able to lift off. But there we go. Now we see 3 Blink Stalkers warping in, or I guess building, as Warp Gate has only just finished, or as I say that. And then, yeah, it's just going to be mass Stalkers from the unranked player. AlphaStar, we really need to see a tank from you. Is it just going to go right into Banshees? It can't rely on Banshees, but oh no, the AI derping pretty darn hard this game, and the reason for that is I don't think it actually checked the natural. It didn't see the gas, didn't see the cyber core, so really, really inadequate scouting today from AlphaStar. The AI has no idea this is coming, I believe, and so it's just going to be like totally lights out. Yeah, all of a sudden the unranked players coming in. AlphaStar may have seen the lack of a Nexus, but now it absolutely knows what's coming its way. It doesn't have a siege tank, though. You need a siege tank to hold on against this kind of pressure. There are simply so many Stalkers. Looks like the Stalkers are going to start shooting away on the orbital command. Now, the Protoss player should be feeling pressured, though, to get some damage done, effectively, as you pretty much have got to... You gotta do something when you're a one-base Protoss. Those Stalkers have got to be picking off units left, right, and center. Oh my gosh, I was expecting him to do that blink back play, microing back the injured Stalkers. Instead, he just blinks forward with everything like a madman. I'm not sure that was the right call from the Protoss player. Now he blinks some of the Stalkers that were on the front line back. However, he definitely lost a lot of units. How well did he trade out? I'm not too sure. Most of the Marines died for AlphaStar. There's literally just 2 out right now. There's the Cyclone and the Raven. That's really all the defense there is for the Terran player. We see the Stalkers are going to blink forward, and this is a blink forward I absolutely agree with. The Stalkers pick off the Cyclone. They're going to start picking off the Cloak, so Cloak will not be a saving grace for AlphaStar. I think we have seen AlphaStar get cheesed out a little bit. The Stalkers are just too numerous at this point. The Terran doesn't have the production. No tanks were made. The bunker was salvaged. Really, AlphaStar not preparing for a rush like this. To be fair, one-base blink attacks aren't that common, but I feel a Terran player should know a little bit better. I guess AlphaStar's age showing it. The AI wasn't around the time of when there was super duper blink all-ins all the time from Protoss players. The AI's having a really big derp. We're seeing buildings left. SCV's running, gonna build another starport, because why not? Now it throws up a bunker, floating the orbital command. Yeah, this is just simply GG. The AI can try, but the AI will die. SCV's running around. Looks like there is a Banshee on the other side of the map. Is this gonna be enough to like force a recall or something? If the AI wins this game, I will be super duper shocked. Like, I'm 99% sure it's dead. However, the AI, it is building one starport. It's actually going to be floating over another. What if it can research Cloak or something at the same time that we do see an observer building for the unranked player? He knows what he can lose to. He is losing a lot of probes to the Banshee. This Banshee's actually killed 10, 11 workers already, so not doing too bad for itself. There's going to be like no workers left for the unranked player. The problem is, though, there simply will not be an answer to the army. AlphaStar has made a bunker, but AlphaStar's barracks is not in position to start producing Marines. If it's like, if the AI manages to get out a bunker or something and get some Marines in it, you'll say, okay, there's a chance because you have the orbital command and whatnot, but the AI has literally nothing, is making literally nothing. It was a noble attempt, a very noble attempt indeed from AlphaStar, but I think we are going to be going to a Game 3. I had no idea who won this game, so color me surprised and happy that we get to see a full best of 3. Yeah, Stalker's going to start working away on the orbital command. The AI is just doing one of them situations where it doesn't know to GG. The command center is floating to the bottom right, but it didn't kill all the workers, so the Protoss player will be able to tech up to air. Maybe that's what AlphaStar was going for, but I doubt it because it doesn't really understand base trades. I think it was just kind of doing its thing. And so now we wait for the GG when AlphaStar decides, I got no chance in this game. All right, there we go. So into match number 3 we go. So, humanity versus AlphaStar, but today is a bit of a treat as we have got another unranked player taking on AlphaStar. The last one was a bit of a wild card, however he did get the W in a very nice build, and oh my gosh, classic unranked player. Oh, I totally thought he was gonna go proxy with 2 SCVs, but no, he did decide to pull one of those back, just a misclick. So yeah, unranked Terran taking on Alpha Terran versus a regular Terran. And yeah, we'll see who's going to be able to win this. I think bringing back the best of 3s and actually doing all 3 matches, depending on who wins, is a good idea. Fun way to pass the games, make the videos a little bit longer. as I know you guys like as much daily AlphaStar as possible. Okay, SCV is now going to be working away on this refinery. There is that barracks going up. So normal build for AlphaStar. So far it looks like a normal build too for the unranked player. I wonder if we'll see double gas from either of them. Looks like the answer is yes for the unranked Terran. If AlphaStar, though, usually goes for a Reaper expand every now and then, it'll go for a double gas. No, look at that. Silly me. It's already got its second gas on the way. So a double gas play against a double gas play. Really cool stuff. Now, yeah, we'll see. Going to be a factory up next, no doubt. And then where the game's going to go from that, I'm not sure. Double gas plays can be very, very volatile as far as TVT goes. Could just be one of them will pull out a gas a bit and then go for an expansion. AlphaStar, though, is actually going to be pulling at least one of its workers out of gas. Not going full tilt on the gas, just 5 mining, which is a little bit odd. There we go, pulls out another SCV out of gas, so the AI doesn't need all that gas, whereas the Terran player says, give me that gas, so maybe going to be making more Reapers, maybe right into Cyclones, Banshees, Ravens, you name it. Having the double gas will help you with that, whereas pulling out of the gas helps you boost up your mineral income, which allows you to take an expansion sooner, which does indeed seem to be up the AI's alley. Alright, as we take a look, there is indeed a starport on the way. There is a reactor factory finishing up for both these players. Nothing out of the ordinary. Command center is indeed on the way for the unranked player. AlphaStar hasn't actually gone for its command center yet, so I really thought that the AI would be the one with the quicker command center. I guess it did go for a starport, whereas the unranked player delayed his. So interesting builds from both these guys. Reactored Hellions are going to start getting produced by the unranked player. So he's going to have more Hellions, whereas AlphaStar will have more Reapers, since it's been producing Reapers all this time. Tech Lab's on the way for the starport for AlphaStar, so going to be having potential Banshees, which is no surprise because, you know, it's AlphaStar. So do we see that cloak? There we go. Cloak starts first. Then you make the Banshee, and the reason for that is basically cloak takes longer to research than the Banshee, so you want to start it first, and then even with the Banshee a little bit later, and then you'll have a Banshee with cloak pretty much right as soon as it gets across the map, which is quite nice. A Liberator is the tech of choice for the unranked player, so probably going to be going for a bit of a Hellion poke with Liberator harassment, if I imagine. Now the question is, what are these players going to have for anti-air? So far, there's like no units there's literally no units that shoot up in this game, and they're both making air units. AlphaStar is queuing up a Cyclone, whereas the Terran player, or I mean the red player, the human player, isn't actually making any anti-air yet. Of course, he can always queue up a Liberator after this. We'll just have to wait and see what his choice is, because you gotta know if you're a Terran. There's always a chance of a Banshee, always a chance of something flying into your main base. Looks like the tech of choice, though, is actually just another Liberator, which is quite odd indeed. Yeah, very, very odd. Wait a second. Oh my gosh, what back up, pardon me. The Hellions of the unranked player did just have an engagement, and it looks like they did not fare well at all. So these Hellions moving in, they're going to be fighting AlphaStars. AlphaStar doesn't lose a single unit, though, in this fight, and all the Hellions of the unranked player die. That is a big boo-boo, that's for sure. I totally didn't mean to rewind again there, but look at this. This is totally forcing the unranked player to panic. He has to lift off his command center. The Hellions are now going to run up the ramp. The Hellions will totally be toasted by the Liberator, by the Hellions now of the unranked player that's still been making them. However, we take a look, the Banshee all of a sudden is going to move into the main base. It does indeed have cloak. What's there as far as detection goes? There isn't energy for a single scan, and so this is just looking to be a disaster for the unranked player. AlphaStar going to be getting so many kills with this. Both the Liberators, I think, have to unsiege here, but the unranked player isn't really reacting. There's the Liberators unsieging. There is indeed one scan. How much damage do Liberators deal to Banshees? The answer is comically low, as they don't have their plus light damage anymore. So Liberator's AI attack very low. Knowing AlphaStar, there may be another Banshee out. Looks like there's just another one on the way already, but then the third command center is on the way for AlphaStar. Yeah, not looking too good for the unranked players. He's down to 18 to 37 workers. Seems like the only way to get a consistent win against AlphaStar is just to cheese and cheese and cheese if you are an unranked player. So I'm a little bit concerned here for humanity. He's throwing up extra barracks now. Going to be getting his production going into a 4 racks play, which is quite odd. But his economy, he's only on 21 SCVs to the 41 of AlphaStar. There's going to be another Banshee moving across the map, so going to be trying to make that less than 21 SCVs. These two Liberators would totally have to force an Alpha Derp if the red player is going to be able to get a win, but AlphaStar has got 3 Cyclones out, is even building a turret. I have complete faith in the AI to close this one out. It's getting up a 3rd base. It's producing units non-stop. Yeah, sad days indeed for humanity. The Liberators aren't even queued to set up, and they're already locked on. So what a disaster there. This Liberator's going to swing around towards the main. May get some SCV kills, but I doubt it's going to get 20 SCV kills. Could maybe kill a Cyclone or 2. Looks like it gets one of the Cyclones. Auto turret, though, does get tossed down. Will be enough to shut down the Liberator. And this is quite bad news bears indeed for the unranked player. The Banshee comes back. AlphaStar just going to keep being a pain, making even more Banshees behind this, by the way. So there's another one moving across the map. There is another Banshee on the way already. There's a second starport. So AlphaStar going to be playing its classic Sky Terran style that we've seen it go for in TVT every now and then. Because it seems to really appreciate the importance of air control. The Banshee just going to be getting more and more kills. There's nothing to detect it. The Terran player on a low economy wants to be dropping mules, but instead he has to drop scans. The Banshee kills SCVs, kills the Marine. This is just a complete disaster. There's another Banshee in the main base of the unranked player, and that is going to be GG, ladies and gentlemen. AlphaStar takes the 2-1 victory, able to basically just shut down that unranked player. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Showing us once again its complete Banshee dominance. I wonder how good AlphaStar, Alpha Terran would be without Banshees. Who knows what it would go for? That would be an interesting experiment. Remove Banshees, make the AI relearn, and see how the game goes. What style it would choose or would be prevalent. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, press that subscribe button. Join the Discord, which is in the description. And I'll see you next time. This has been LaughNgamez. Thanks for watching.